Welcome to Soul Sessions. I'm Shannon Kaiser, the founder of She Saves Herself Collective and the author of the forthcoming book, Nourish Your Inner Light, and a trauma-informed life coach and soul guide. This is a weekly series. It's a new series, and every Sunday I'll be releasing a soul session. It is a timeless collective tarot reading designed to help you better understand yourself and bring clarity to the questions that have been on your heart and mind. And recognize that time and energy is fluid, so I may be speaking about the past, the present, or even your future. And you have to trust that the message has found you. If you're here, then there's a reason, and you can stick around and see what unfolds. Because these readings are for the collective, I'm tapping into the collective energy. Take what feels aligned and resonates with you and just leave what doesn't. And as always, trust yourself above everything else. And now we're going to begin today's question that has come up quite a bit in my coaching practice is, how do you know when it's time to leave? How do you know when it's time to leave, and what are you outgrowing is what we're going to explore today. So I'm going to be clearing the space with sound. It may get loud for a moment. If you have a sensitivity to sound, I invite you to turn down your device in 3, 2, 1. How do you know when it's time to leave? This is a question on the heart for so many of us right now. The energy is really feeling blindfolded and feeling trapped, having no real clear direction of which way to go. We have the Two of Swords upright. And as we sit here, we're literally holding onto swords that are crossing our heart. And that shows me that there is a deep inner conflict happening and we're weighing our options. So when I'm talking to you as the collective, you listening most likely are feeling a lot of doubt about the choices in front of you. And as there's this blindfold on you, it's almost like you don't want to look. You don't want to see or make a choice because it would be so terrifying to make that choice and possibly have to live in a way that you haven't lived before. And so every time I see this card and how I kind of read the Two of Swords is really about choice, of course, but having an incredibly difficult decision. It might be having one foot in and one foot out. So it could be a relationship. It might be a job. It might be you in an environment that you're living in. Take what resonates for you. But when we ask, how do you know when it's time to leave? Right here, this shows me the current energy is, I don't want to look. I don't want to look at what is around the corner because it could be terrifying. And so it's almost like we blindfold ourselves. I really feel that every time I see this card, and I know a lot of tarot readers might interpret it different, but this feels so true for me every time. And when you look at the energy around it, there's a sliver of the moon up in the sky that's leaning down on you, and it's helping you illuminate. When we move into the energy of what the biggest block is and why you may be feeling so stuck, we actually see possibly the energy of why you're feeling stuck and most likely why you probably don't want to take a look at, take that blindfold off. And it's because we have the Eight of Pentacles in reverse, and I do read reverse cards. And so really this feels like a dead end. This is when you've worked so incredibly hard and it just feels like it's not amounting to anything. You have put so much skill. Maybe you've been trying to grow a business. Maybe you've been trying to sell a house. Maybe you're trying to figure out why the love isn't working in the relationship. And you've been putting so much in, but nothing is changing. There's still so many problems. You still feel disrespected. You still feel like your needs aren't getting met. And this shows us here that energy has like this, almost like a perfectionism to it. This could steer into, it's possible that you have been focusing so much on being perfect, being in the perfect, having the perfect situation. And that's why it doesn't feel like, you don't feel like it's time to leave, but there's a part of you that does. So when we ask the question that is deeper beneath, why do you know it's time to leave? Or excuse me, how do you know it's time to leave? It comes back to, what are you outgrowing? And this shows me here, when we have the Eight of Pentacles upright, you've really outgrown the dead end situation. The house you're living in that no longer brings you joy, the environment you're living in that's suffocating you, the job that's suffocating your soul, the relationship that doesn't see your value, it's a dead end. And when you can see that, when you can really look at that with straight eyes and take the blindfold off, you will recognize that you actually moves us into what we have as the Page of Cups. And the Page of Cups is really, once again, about that intuitive message coming to you. It's about possibilities. It's also about having a curiosity about what might be. Now, as we look at these cards together, we have the Page of Cups. She's standing on a rock in the ocean. This is an island almost. She's almost surrounded by water, yet she's standing upright and she has this childlike sense of wonder on her face, on her smile. She's looking at the cup that she's holding up into the sky, but if we notice, she's looking backwards. She is not looking to her future. She is reflecting back. And so this shows us the biggest opportunity perhaps for you right now. And when we talk about what are you outgrowing, it's to look at all of the hard work that you have put in. And instead of looking at it as hard work that I have to keep holding on to, and because I've worked so hard, I need to hold on to this, you can say, I've done such a good job and now it's time to release. And this will really show us that we're going to do one more card to close it out and have kind of what I call the clarifier to really bring this all together and to show us the biggest area of opportunity for your highest good. As we look at the Page of Cups, she's looking back, but she's also, I want to recognize that she's in blue. And so you have an opportunity to tap into the energy. The blue, again, is skies, it's possibilities. The ocean is also emotion, and the cups is emotion. So this is about getting in touch with your emotion and letting your emotions, the ocean tides, the wet ebb and flow of that really come into play. And this all leads us to the area of opportunity for you, which is the Nine of Pentacles. This is my life of luxury energy, and that's what I really see here. Every time I see the Nine of Pentacles upright, it is about celebrating all of the hard work. It's absolutely, when we look at the spread and you look at this, look at the thumbnail on the YouTube and the visual, you'll see that the Nine of Pentacles is actually reversed of the Eight of Pentacles reversed in the sense of the design. They literally fit together like a puzzle piece here. What this shows me and what I'm really getting at is your hard work and that angst that you feel, that energy of, I have put so much work in and it has resulted in nothing. It's actually reversed of the Eight of Pentacles reversed in the sense of the design. They literally fit together like a puzzle piece here. What this shows me and what I'm really getting at is your hard work and that angst that you feel, that energy of, I have put so much work in and it has resulted in nothing. Actually, when you allow the Page of Cups, that energy of you looking back with gratitude and appreciation and letting the emotions that need to be felt coming in and out, that ebb and flow, that will lead you to the puzzle piece that clicks in like a lock, like a just boom. It clicks into exactly the piece that it needs, which is you are so much more on track than you realize, because abundance is on its way to you. Your efforts will be rewarded. And when you really connect inward, you'll see that success is possible for you. And that means, though, the bridge here between these puzzle pieces is looking at the past with a new perspective and seeing the possibilities in the pain instead of focusing on how hard you've worked and having the animosity. You start to look at it with curiosity and bring forth that energy of the ebbs and flows of your emotion. And this will lead us into the life of luxury, if you will. So when we're looking at truly, how do you know when it's time to leave? Well, just look at what you are outgrowing and then give yourself permission to take off the blindfold and know that you've worked extra hard and your emotions are important and you are going to have success when you choose you with self-worth. So the burning question, how do you know when it's time to leave? You know, when we look at this whole entire spread together, I don't really think it's asking you to walk away or leave impulsively. In fact, it's really looking at the energy around where you've been abandoning yourself, and to stop abandoning yourself and trust what you already know. As we see that your intuition's been speaking to you for a long time, that blindfold isn't there because the answers are hidden. It's because there's a part of you that's been afraid to see what you've already known. But the moment you trust yourself and choose to look forward, a new chapter can begin. So what is your intuition telling you? That's the key. That's the key to look into. Ask yourself, what have I been avoiding? When you've poured your heart into something and it no longer gives life back to you, that's when you know it's time to leave. When another possibility keeps coming to you and it's calling your name and it's popping through, you feel like you've worked so hard on something, that's when it's time to leave. And even if you don't know exactly where it's going to lead, you can trust it by knowing that every step you've taken in the past has given you full permission to move forward. So how do you know when it's time to leave? These cards really show us you know it's time when you've stopped looking, the Two of Swords. We look at the Eight of Pentacles. You know it's time because you've been putting an emotional effort, and an enormous amount of effort as well, but you haven't seen the movement or the results. That's how you know. And when we see the Page of Cups, you know it's time because another possibility keeps calling you. And of course, with the Nine of Pentacles, you know it's time to leave because something healthier is waiting. It's time to step forward into that. This is your reading today. Thanks for joining Soul Sessions.
Soul Sessions with